Hi there, welcome to Sydney, and also welcome to a very quiet, well pretty much empty Central Station here. Anyway, today my destination is down to Melbourne, and the way I'm going to get there, first of all I'm going to use my Seniors Gold Opal card to get me out or down to Goulburn, and then from Goulburn I've bought a country pension excursion ticket to ride on the XPT from Goulburn to Albury. Then in Albury I'm going to get off again and maybe have something to eat, have a quick look around Albury. I've got 2 hours there. Get off at Albury, and I'm going to catch a V-line service into Melbourne, and that's going to cost me $2.85. Now I've booked the V-line and the XPT, so the whole lot is going to cost me $7.85 from Sydney to Melbourne. That's if everything goes right. Anyway, the first leg of the journey, Sydney to Campbelltown, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to catch a train from here at Central out to Campbelltown. Then at Campbelltown I'm going to change for a coach. Now it's either an Opal coach, so I can pay with my gold Opal card, and that's going to take me down to Goulburn. And the coach is route number 777 from Campbelltown to Goulburn. Well, I don't think I've ever seen Central so quiet. Now you can't see it probably, but we got MacArthur, platform 23 in 12 minutes. Now I'm pretty early today. Hopefully there's a cafe open somewhere at Campbelltown I can grab a cup of coffee, but I don't think I'm going to get anything here. Train's platform 23. Now there's a lift on the left there. I'll just duck down the stairs. Ah yes, this is what we want. Platform 23. MacArthur. Looks like it's at all stations. And Campbelltown is the stop before MacArthur. Just behind me is a lift to take you to the platform. I'm going to use the escalator.
The train on platform 23 goes to MacArthur via airport stations. First stop Green Square, then Mascot Domestic Airport, International Airport, Walleye Creek, Torella, then all stations to East Hills, then Holsworthy, Glenfield, then all stations to Campbelltown, and then MacArthur. For your safety, please remain.
By the way, my name's Kerry, and the name of my YouTube channel is Public Transport and Car Tags. And today's date is Monday, 3rd of August 2026. Anyway, I hope you'll stay with us for the day. Yeah, Chris and I may have made a big mistake recently. We didn't have our flu shots this year. Anyway, 3 weeks ago, we get the flu. And we recover from that. And then, 3 weeks later, we get the flu again. Anyway, I've been on a steady diet of champagne and Sydney rock oysters, and it's brought me back to health. Well, the next stop is Campbelltown. That trip went pretty quick.
This station is...
Well, welcome to Campbelltown. Now this train here, which leaves in 4 minutes, but the trouble is it only goes as far as Moss Vale. I've got to get to Goulburn to catch the XPT through to Albury. So we'll head out to the bus station out here, and we'll go to stand G, where the bus departs for Goulburn. Now I just asked the bus driver where stand G was, and he said it's on the other side of the station, so we'll have to, there should be a lift here, or I'll just take the stairs. Oh, there's a lift over there, and we'll go over there. But here you got stand A up there, and it goes right down to stand F, but no G, and G's on the other side. Anyway, we'll head over there. There's the lift there. We'll get a bit of exercise. Now, if I'm right, stand G should be just down here, and here it is. Now, there's no mention of service 777 here, and we're on stand G. It's interesting because when I go into the trip planner, it brings up the service. But when I go into the Southern Highlands services, it's not listed. Or when I go into the New South Wales train link services, it's not listed there either. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Remember, this is man versus public transport, and public transport at the moment looks like it's winning. Now, it's a bit chilly here on the bus stop, and I'd really like to find a nice little warm cafe, but not around here. I'm out of luck here. Well, things are looking better. A New South Wales train link coach just pulled in on the other side of the road, and I went and asked the driver, are you going to turn around and be the 777 going to Goulburn? And he says, yeah. He says, you'll be back here at 7:20. He's obviously just going out of breakfast. He's heading off to Goulburn again. Anyway, things are looking pretty good. So this bus service looks like it's run by New South Wales Train Link, but I'm going to tap on. Evidently, you can tap on with your Opal card. So it's an Opal service run by New South Wales Train Link. So that certainly complicates the whole show, doesn't it? Anyway, bear with me and I'll work out what's going on. Well, right now, I'd pay double for a nice hot cup of coffee. Lucky I brought a bit of water with me. Well, I'm going to have to wait till I get to Goulburn for that cup of coffee. That's the trip from Campbelltown to Goulburn. I think it's about an hour and 40 minutes. And the bus doesn't stop. It leaves here and it goes straight through to Goulburn. So there's only one stop. That's Goulburn. It's probably faster than the train. But at Goulburn there's a big shopping centre across the road from the railway station. So I'll be looking forward to ducking over there. It'll be about 9 o'clock when we get there. And having a nice, large cappuccino. Oh, just the thought of it. Well, this looks like it now. Goulburn. Well, happy days. Tap on?
No.
Oh, okay then.
There's no tap on the machine. You have to go back to the station.
Oh no.
It's not worth it.
Thanks, mate. Well, I was right. It's a Opal service, but it's run by New South Wales Trainlink. And I tried to tap on, but the driver said that there's no Opal tap on machine on board, so he said I'd have to go back to the station and tap on there. Anyway, he said, look, just get on, we'll go. Well, we're on our way.
Oh yeah, this was all wool and rail and printing resins.
Well, welcome to Goulburn. I just checked the time and the coach arrived about 5 minutes early. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go in here and check how the XPT, the next leg of the journey on the XPT, I'm going to check if that's on time. And after that, I'm going to go across the road and get a cup of coffee. Yeah, the XPT's on time, so I've got, it leaves at 10:13, so we've got an hour and 13 minutes. Just across the road here, there's a big shopping centre. Hopefully, well, there'll be a coffee shop. Ah yes, this is what we're looking for. Ah, delicious. Ah yes, that looks good. Well, that was good. A bit of food and a warm drink in my belly certainly makes me feel a bit warmer. Anyway, it's time to go. So what I might do now is just duck around to Woolies and get a large bottle of water. Ah yes, this is what we want. Now this is not my train, this is the service going to Canberra. We'll let this go, and in about half an hour the XPT will come through. Now the nice thing about the waiting room here in Goulburn is that it's heated. And I've got a seat right next to the fire and it's beautiful. There's certainly no lack of nice fires in this waiting room. It's a nice warm waiting room. Now as I was waiting here for the train, I went into the booking office and had a quick yarn with the New South Wales Trainlink and Opal agent here about the service, the 777 service that left Campbelltown this morning, the one I took from Campbelltown down to Goulburn. And she said that it's not on any of the timetables, so you've got to be in the know to find out where it leaves from. And she said that It's mainly a backup service. It's sort of like if anything goes wrong with the XPT, they've got buses to pick up the people and take them up to Sydney, because they don't want a platform full of people and half of them are heading off to the airport to catch a flight. So they try to keep the people moving, which is really good. And the agent also told me that you can get a pension seniors gold Opal card at either Central Station, or now you can also get one at Circular Quay Station. And all you need to do is go to the right desk and show your driver's license. So there's a bit of information if you're coming from the bush, or you're coming up from Melbourne, or down from Brisbane, or up from Adelaide, and you haven't arrived Sydney with your gold Opal card already, you can get one when you get there. But I'd really advise to get one before you come to Sydney. Okay, this is the second half of the trip from Goulburn through to Albury, and I'm doing this using a country pensioner excursion ticket, which I bought a couple of days ago using my seniors card. And the cost, yep, you guessed it, $2.50. Now I'm in car D, seat 8, which should be just... Oh, there's car D there. Well, it looks pretty full today, and I'm at the wrong end of the carriage. Well, we're on our way. Goodbye, Goulburn. The next stop is Yass Junction. Well, as soon as I got on the train and got comfortable, sat down in my seat, the first thing I did was fall asleep for half an hour. And I was woken by the catering staff who came through with lunch orders. There was buttered chicken and spaghetti bolognese, and also pulled beef stroganoff. I thought, pulled beef stroganoff, that sounds like a good one. So I ordered one, and it should be ready in a few minutes, and I'll go down and pick it up. The cost was $13.50. Now, you can also purchase a beer, a light beer, or a glass of wine. I think that's another $10 or something. But I might forego the beer or the wine, and I might have a beer this afternoon when I get to Albury. Now, if you're like me and travelling between Goulburn and Albury with on a country pensioner excursion ticket, just remember that if you get close to Albury or get to Albury and you decide, well, I don't want to get off at Albury now, I might just continue on to Southern Cross, Melbourne. If you want to do that, what you got to do, you've really got to go to the conductor before you get to Albury and tell them that you're travelling on a ticket from Goulburn to Albury, a country pensioner excursion, and you'd like to extend your trip through to Southern Cross, Melbourne, or wherever you're going in Victoria. And what they'll do then is invalidate your country pensioner excursion ticket and sell you another ticket from Goulburn right through to Melbourne or wherever you're going in Victoria. The cost, the last time I looked it up, the cost of seniors fare from Goulburn through to Melbourne was $32. Now the most important thing with this is that you got to do it before you get to Albury, because once the train leaves Albury, you're then travelling without a ticket. So that's fare evasion. So just stay out of trouble. Either get off at Albury or go and tell the conductor on the train you want to go through. So just organise it all, have it all organised before you get there. Now to get a $2.50 country pension excursion ticket and you're booking it online, just go online with your FPOS and your seniors card or your concession card and make your booking 7 days or less before your day of departure, and the system will automatically determine if you're eligible for a country pension or excursion ticket. It's the same if you're booking with a New South Wales Train Link agent. Just tell them where you're going and make sure you book just a couple of days before your date of departure, well 7 days or less before the date of departure, and you'll be eligible for the $2.50 ticket. Now this country pension or excursion ticket, it really should be called a country seniors excursion ticket. Now I don't know why it's called the country pension excursion ticket, but something gives me the impression what happened was many years ago when the Opal card first came out, they decided to give seniors a $2.50 cap in Sydney. Now that went down really good with Sydney people, the Sydney metropolitan area, this Newcastle, Sydney, Wollongong and the surrounding area. They could travel around for $2.50, and of course all the people out in the bush, they said, well, what about us, what do we get? Nothing. So the government decided, well, or New South Wales Train or Country Link or whoever it was at the time, they said, yeah, right out then, we'll give pensioners a special ticket in the country called the Country Pension Excursion. You can go anywhere except through the Opal area, and that went down really well. But then I think the seniors come in and they said, oh yeah, what about us, the seniors in the city get it, and then they decided to let the seniors in on the whole country pension excursion ticket. They should have changed the name because it's a little bit confusing. Anyway, but that's public transport for you, isn't it, anyway? There's my meal reservation ticket. Thanks, mate. Okay, here's my barbecue style pulled beef, and comes with the bread roll, butter and salt and pepper, a knife and fork and a napkin. Okay, and here we are. You got potatoes, carrots, broccoli and pulled beef. Cheers. Very nice. It seems that they heat it up in a proper oven. This train is so old. Like, I think they bought this train out about 45 years ago, 1980 or something. And, well, of course, microwaves hadn't even been invented then. And they don't change the train much. They leave it pretty much standing all the way through. This food is very nicely prepared and presented. Yeah. A sign of spring coming. Now Wagga Wagga is our next stop. I missed out on June E. I fell asleep. It's so relaxing. The sun's shining in the window and it's a beautiful winter's day. Oh well. Anyway, Wagga's our next stop. Now if it's your first time in an XPT, I remind you that the train wasn't built yesterday. They haven't modified anything, so there's nowhere to charge a phone. There's certainly no Wi-Fi, or certainly no free Wi-Fi, so you're coming into, you're going to spend a day in the 70s. So if you like looking at social media as you go along, you might want to get yourself a little battery pack to charge your phone with. This is just a cheap one. I bought it at Kmart. I think I paid about $18 for it.
Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. The takeaway buffet will be closing in about half an hour. If you would like to make any last minute purchase, please do so. I repeat, the takeaway buffet will be closing in about half an hour. Thank you.
Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention too is that once you get out of the major towns, past the major centres, there's really no mobile phone reception nor data. So as I say, you really are in the 70s. Sit back, enjoy the scenery. Canola. Now you're probably thinking, with all this chopping and changing I'm doing, it'd be better just to just get on the train in Sydney and stay on it right through to Melbourne. Well, that's not such a bad idea. But the problem is that, like, I can't sit in the same seat for 11 hours. Like, after about 5 hours, I'm itching to get off, take a walk around, and then get back on. Well, if I can get back on another train with a different seat, that's even better. But sitting in the same seat for 11 hours, now you're probably thinking, well, what about the people on the Indian Pacific? They're 3 days on the train. Well, it's different with them. because they have a cabin and they're sitting in the cabin looking at their scenery, and they can go for a walk up to the club car, and they can have a drink and talk to people. Then they can go to the dining car. Then they can go back to their cabin for a stretch out for a sleep. But on the XPT, you're sitting in the same seat for 11 hours. Now, I've done Sydney to Melbourne on the XPT in 11 hours, and I'm telling you, the scenery is fantastic. I love it. But by the time I get past Albury, I'm just dying for the train to get there so I can get off. Remember, sitting's the new smoking. Sitting for 11 hours, I can't do it. I got to get off. So this is why I like doing it this way. Okay, it takes longer, but I enjoy the trip a lot more than just sitting on the same seat for 11 hours. Now the carriages or trains, the XPT replaced back in 1980 when they were first introduced. These trains didn't have any room for large suitcases, and the idea back in those days was you gave your suitcase to someone at the station, you handed it into the luggage section, and they put it on the train. And there was a luggage van. People don't seem to like handing their luggage over to the luggage van or handing their luggage over. They tend to prefer to bring it on the train. But when they built these XPTs, they made room for luggage. But the problem is, they didn't make a lot of room. And so quite often I see people bringing in large bags, and they're trying to lift these heavy bags up onto the top of these shelves. You'll see that there's just not enough room for baggage. May I suggest, if you got a lot of baggage or you got a large suitcase, hand it into the station, baggage department, luggage section, and they'll put it on the train for you. Then you'll get connected when you get off. Okay, it takes a few more minutes, but why bring a large suitcase in and have to manhandle it up onto these luggage racks? I see a lot of people struggling with their bags. Cold Can is our next stop, and the stop after that is Albury.
Just a friendly reminder, this is only a temporarily closed due to a crew changing at Albury. Once the train departs at Albury, the takeaway buffet will reopen.
Well, welcome to Albury. Well, was that a fantastic trip? It took a little over 5 hours. The train was about 10 minutes late, I think. And what a fantastic trip. Oh, absolutely glorious scenery. Beautiful. Bathed in beautiful winter sunshine. All for just $2.50. Anyway, I've got about 2 hours here in Albury before the third leg of the journey from Albury here through to Melbourne. And I'm going to catch a V-line train. Well, welcome to Albury. Now the next train, the third leg of the journey, leaves here at 5:20. So we've got an hour and 50 minutes to have a quick look around Albury. So we'll walk downtown. Now just across the road from the station, just down here, there's a motel. Chris and I stayed there, I think about 8 years ago. It was really good. The good thing about it, it's basically just across the road from Albury Station. So if you don't want to do the 11-hour trip, break your journey at Albury and stay in this motel. I'll take you over and you can have a look at it. Here it is, it's called the Winsor Park. And I'll vouch for it. It's a really nice hotel, or motel I should say. But it's only just across the road from Albury Station. Now the good thing about it is that you can continue your journey the next morning. There's numerous train services to get you through to Melbourne. Sydney to Albury only has, 2 train services a day. But the services between Albury and Melbourne, they're a lot more frequent. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll put a link in the description to the hotel back there. But right now, just walk up to the corner here, turn to the left, and we'll walk down the main street of Albury. And here we are in the main street of Albury. Well, there's no lack of places to eat here. Yeah, that looks like the sort of pub that'd sell rashes. After 5 hours on the train. Cheers. Ah, beautiful. Well, here we are back at the station again, and our train's in. Looking good. Oh yeah, you can get on. Oh, it's a bit warm in here. I'm in A28. Now these seats on this VLocity train are quite a bit softer than the seats on the New South Wales XPT. And I find them a lot more comfortable. The XPT seats are a little bit hard, especially after 5 hours. Boy, was I glad to get off. Anyway, I'm booked in this train and the service leaves at 17:20. And its destination is Southern Cross Station in Melbourne. And it cost me $2.85. And I booked online using my senior's card. And of course you can't beat that price, can you? So that brings the total cost of the trip from Sydney to Melbourne will be $7.85. Now of course these trains are a lot newer than the XPTs, and they have USB charging ports at the back of all the seats. Now we've just had an announcement that the buffet is open on the train, but it closes in 30 minutes. And also another announcement to say that we have to change trains at Seymour because there's track work. We have to change at Seymour and catch a local train into Southern Cross. Well, we're away. Goodbye, Albury. Well, welcome to Seymour. Now, this train terminates here. We just got off and we have to go over to platform 2 and get a train from there into Southern Cross. Now, I'm not sure where platform 2 is, but I'll just follow the crowd. There's our train here. Well, that's pretty good. I thought we'd be waiting for quite a while. So this is a broad gauge VLocity set. Very interesting. So we get the broad gauge ride today. They must be working on the standard gauge track.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 40 minutes. So those stations will be called Tallarock.
Train departs in 7 minutes, and they've just said they will be should be in Southern Cross about 9:20. That's not too bad. Well, we're on our way. Goodbye, Seymour. Well, it's 9:15 and we just arrived here at Spencer Street Station now. So the trip, we left Sydney at 5:30 this morning and we arrived here at 9:15, so that's a bit less than 16 hours. Anyway, the most important thing is that we're here and we're going to head down out onto Spencer Street and walk down a little bit, and there's a hotel just down the road, just pretty much across the road from Spencer, from Southern Cross Station, called the Southern. I got a room there for $76. Like, $76? Like, you can't even get a youth hostel. You can't even get a bed at a youth hostel for $76. Anyway, let's make a move. Everyone's gone off. Okay, welcome to Southern Cross Station here in Melbourne. The hotel I want looks like that's it, just down there. Of course, over here. The Great Southern Hotel. Here we are. Well, that's not too bad. Let's have a look at the bathroom. Oh. Oh, very nice. Well, you can't beat that for $76 a night right in the middle of the city. Fantastic. Anyway, I'll leave you be now. Thanks very much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. Bye now.